Coming up tonight on YCN News, New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan signs into law several bills that will protect victims of domestic violence, including household pets. The Cornish School District begins to take steps to break away from SAU 6. And Vermont State Police get an unusual call to handle large animals at a rest area. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Tuesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. New Hampshire Governor Maggie Hassan signed into law several bills today that will protect victims of domestic violence, including household pets who are part of a victim's family. Today's bills include Joshua's Law, in honor of the boy who died during an unsupervised visit with his father last summer, and laws aimed at preventing human trafficking and employer discrimination toward domestic violence victims, plus House Bill 1410, a bill to protect pets and domesticated animals from an abuser. State Representative Linda Tanner of Sunapee is a co-sponsor of HB 1410. The bill's passage and enactment arise from heartbreak.
I just, it was so sad for Joshua's bill that someone had to die in order for that to come through. But the work, was a bipartisan effort, as you saw today, on all these bills, and it really speaks to how the legislature actually worked together this year, and particularly the House under Terry Norelli. And I think that's a great special award for them that they got it through, and we were celebrating it today.
Helping pass legislation on issues related to domestic violence is one reason why Tanner, a Democrat, feels strongly about seeing the bills to completion. This year, testimony in support of the 6 bills helped convince legislators that the time was right to get this work done. Police at the local level are often the first to respond to domestic violence cases that often end in homicides, says Tanner. Getting a victim to leave a dangerous home situation is not easy.
Well, to start out with, we had a police officer from Franklin who actually initiated the bill, and he gave testimony about, from a police standpoint of view, which is something that I wasn't aware of, how they would go in and see a bad situation and try to get the victim out. And the children were hard enough to move out with her or him, but the domestic animal was really a heartbreaker for both the children and the victim. So that was an interesting testimony from my perspective.
The seating arrangement of legislators in the State House may have played a role in getting the 6 bills through the lawmaking process.
Lee Webb was the chief sponsor, and we just went through the House and talked to members that we knew, people. One of the beauties this year was that we were sitting not all Democrats, not all Republicans, so I had an opportunity to talk to many Republicans around me and also in committee about this bill and how important it was.
Tanner's support of HB 1410 comes in her freshman year as a legislator. It is the issue of domestic violence and the need to stop it that guided her work.
Well, it's domestic violence. I mean, up in our area, we've had several people die from domestic disputes. I believe most of the homicides in our area have been from that. And it's really something that we need to address. We need to get some laws on the books in place, as you heard from the governor today, that are really important to protect victims. New Hampshire should be a safe place to live for everybody.
The focus of today's news is not only at the New Hampshire State House, but its counterpart in Vermont. Today in Montpelier, Governor Peter Shumlin announced a staffing change at Vermont's Agency of Human Services. It will now be Dr. Harry Chin, a physician who will lead the department. Douglas Racine will step down as agency secretary. Racine's departure comes on the heels of problems with the agency. These problems include the deaths of 2 Vermont toddlers in 2 different communities. Shumlin says the time is right for new leadership in a department aimed at keeping kids safe. As of this afternoon, New Hampshire State Police have not released any further information regarding the crash that killed 3 teenagers and seriously injured a 4th early Sunday morning. As soon as YCN receives more information, we will update you on this information. Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. It will take much study and discussion, yet the Cornish School District is beginning to take steps to break away from SAU 6, the District of Claremont, Cornish, and Unity. The committee got to work Monday night at the Town Hall, charged by voters in March to study options to separate from SAU 6, the Eagle Times reports. Over the next several months, the panel will meet to review what is best for the town's school children and taxpayers' abilities to afford the school budget. About 100 children in kindergarten through grade 8 attend Cornish Elementary School. The budget is about $3 million. Hotly worded discussions earlier among some residents threatened to shut the school down and bus the Cornish children to Claremont schools. Now the committee will review joining the Plainfield School District as well as going solo. Next March, residents and voters will learn more about the panel's findings. In many professions, there's no such thing as a typical day. This goes for public safety employees, in this case, the Vermont State Police, who handle large animal calls as needed. On Sunday, state police were called to the Sharon, Vermont rest area along I-89 for a matter regarding public safety. Sharon is in Windsor County. 2 cows were found roaming through the rest area. Police are concerned the cows may wander into the interstate and cause an accident with a motor vehicle. The cows appear to be about 3 to 4 years old and are white-faced Herefords, say police. It is important to keep the cows and motorists safe. Anyone with any information regarding the cow's proper location, whether it's in Sharon or a nearby town such as Stratford or Norwich, Vermont, is asked to call State Trooper Mark Harvey at the Royalton Barracks. The phone number is 802-234-9933. Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we'll have showers after 3 a.m. with a low around 63 degrees. Wednesday we may have thunderstorms after 9 a.m. and a high of 69 degrees. Wednesday night we'll continue with showers and maybe a thunderstorm. Thursday we may see showers before 2 p.m. with a high near 72 degrees. Thursday night will be partly cloudy with a low around 51 degrees. We are about to be hit by some big storms. There is a flood warning in effect between Wednesday and Friday. Be advised. And now let's take a look at our community calendar. The Hanover and Woodstock Farmers Markets will begin at 3 p.m. The Flames Rock and Roll Concert will take place in Sunapee at the Ben Muir Bandstand at 7 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Tonight is the start of a 3-game series with Richmond and the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. The game will take place in Manchester, New Hampshire at the Delta Dental Stadium. This should be an exciting game that you don't want to miss. YCN will bring you the results of tonight's game tomorrow.